Australia, home of the possum, cool surfer dudes, strange lingo, now worries mate, fair dinkum, lots of sunshine and the bonza barrier reef. It's the biggest, most spectacular coral reef in the world, and what's more, every creature is linked to another. Just imagine one huge family tree dating back 18 million years. From the minuscule to the mammoth to the miraculous, they're all connected in Barney's barrier reef.
Okay, hang on, right? Because we're heading 5 degrees north, east, south or west. It's definitely one of those 4.
Oh, give me that. Barney, we are completely lost.
Look, let's try another method, okay? Right, the sun is in the east. That cloud there, that's moving west, and it's nearly 2 o'clock. So that means that we're definitely heading north-south. That's where we're going. It's this way. Yeah, definitely this way. I can see something.
Oh, and we're back to where we started.
Oh, look, we're right back where we started.
How did you manage to get us lost? That is the last time I let you navigate.
Compass must be broken.
And it's time for the show.
Oh, hi. Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter, you know, we'll appreciate it more. You know, we've got a great ocean lineup today. They travel huge distances with amazing navigational skills. True. I'll have a look over here. Might be this way.
It's time to meet our sea trekkers. Meet some of the toughest mini trekkers in the ocean.
What, these little dudes? No way.
These baby larvae go on journeys we wouldn't even think of. If we could swim as far as them, we'd be world record breakers.
These fish are about the size of a peanut. They can't be record breakers, Jeb. That is technically impossible. Okay, confusion overload. Brain about to explode. Please explain.
Well, if there was such a thing as reef record breakers, they might be. But in the fish world, they think nothing of undertaking these huge journeys, mainly because they have to if they want to survive.
Yeah, but shouldn't babies be wrapped up? You know, sort of looked after and sung lullabies to?
Nope, it's every tiddler for himself. They're just cast into the ocean to hatch and grow up on their own in the open water.
Well, that's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Not really. It's nature's way of spreading the fish far and wide so they can go boldly where many fishes have been before. And gets them away from hungry mouths on the reef. And when they swim, they swim. If they were the same size as us, they could swim the 100-metre race in under 4 seconds. That's 13 times faster than the world record.
Wow. Don't they ever get to rest?
Well, they will when they find another reef. Reefs are pretty noisy places, you know, with the snapping shrimps and the munching fish. So the baby fish can follow this noise to their new home, up to 140 kilometres away from their parents.
That's like swimming the English Channel. These are some bionic babies. An impressive starting voyage. So, who are the next sea trekkers?
What are you doing?
I'm blowing bubbles.
Very pretty, but why?
Well, if the mud crab can do it, so can I.
Mud crab?
Yeah. Watch this.
Haha, I think it's mud bath time.
And also time to take a little stroll.
Nice day for it, eh?
Well, in fact, it does more than take a stroll, this little dude. Or should I say, dudette.
Ah, a girly crab. I'm going to call her Shelley. Oi.
She might live in the shallow and muddy mangroves, but when it's time to give birth, this girl travels way out to the ocean. As far as 30 kilometres offshore and as deep as 300 metres.
Hang on. That is a long way for a crab. That's like us travelling from England to Holland.
Yeah, and deep. 300 metres is like diving as deep as the length of the Eiffel Tower.
Bonjour, comment ça va?
And for something 20 times smaller than us, that's pretty deep.
Just one more question. Why? When they live in such shallow, quiet waters, surely it's safer to give birth here than trek 30 kilometres and then dive?
Well, that's an excellent question, Gemma. Dr. Barnacles to the rescue. Mrs. Mudcrab here has to lay a lot of eggs, as many as 5 million in one go. Shallow mangrove water is less salty than the ocean, so one theory is that baby crabs need nice salty water to grow. So the hen crab makes the trek to give her children the best start. Then the young crabs are swept up by the ocean currents and they begin their own journey, carried off to new mangrove forests far, far away.
Ah, thank you. You're so wise, Dr. Barnacles.
Thank you. I mean, thank you. Where were we? Oh, yes. So Mrs. Mudcrab treks way out into the ocean to disperse her young far and wide, just like our fish babies.
Okay, who's our next trek-tastic traveller? So, Barney, what's with all the extra get-up?
Well, Gem, we're going through the mangroves. You've got to be prepared.
Oh, really, Barney? Be prepared for what?
Ow!
The scary mud skipper, or that baby fish over there.
Ah, you may scoff, but there may be crocs in that there water and we need to get close, so I'm not taking any chances.
So, Barney, you must have brought us here for a reason.
Okay, here we are in the mangroves. They're little muddy green forests found along the coastline and on Barrier Reef Islands.
Barney, get on with it.
Sorry, I'm trying to be a cool Aussie explorer. Anyway, they are home to the quaint little mud skipper, and also they are the home of the travelling tree.
Travelling tree?
Yep.
But trees have roots, Barney. They stay in one place.
Ah, but not these ones, Gem. Now listen, most trees drop seeds, but these mangrove trees are very different.
They just look like trees to me.
I know they do, but they're quite deceiving. These are travelling trees. Well, their babies are. You see, the seed doesn't drop, but keeps growing on the tree until it's about the length of my foot. And then it drops into the salt water.
And then gets carried away?
Yeah, this is when it starts its long journey. It bobs along in salty water and travels for quite a while until it eventually reaches a river mouth, where the water turns less salty. Now that helps the seedling to realise it's time to settle down. So wait for this, it turns upright and grows into a tree.
Wow, so even the trees travel in the Barrier Reef.
And they're connected to our mud crabs because they both escape from the muddy mess of the mangroves.
Travelling trees, whatever next. From baby trees to the titchiest, tiniest babies in the ocean. Millions and zillions of coral eggs, officially known as coral spawn.
Wow, it's like an ocean snowstorm.
I know. This is one of the most wondrous sights in the ocean, coral spawning. It happens only once a year, and no one really knows why, but it's mainly dependent on the full moon.
It's a bit like a real-life snow globe. What is it, though?
Well, it's basically the coral laying eggs into the water for the eggs to be fertilised by other corals.
That's spookily spooky. But how?
Well, on that one night, most corals decide to all lay eggs within a few hours of each other, and some even at exactly the same time.
But how do they know when it's the right time?
It's a bit of an ocean mystery. The corals somehow let each other know it's spawning time.
Spawning time, it's spawning time, it's spawning time.
That's freaky.
What's even more amazing is this. These coral eggs are microscopic, but they travel for up to 7 days, usually as a big coral slick, and can end up hundreds of meters, even kilometers away from where they were spawned.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, whoop, here we go, bye-bye.
Wow, but how do they travel?
They get carried by the currents and wind, but somehow manage to end up in the right place to settle and grow. You see, even the eggs are tough in this ocean.
Unlike the baby mangrove trees, even though they're hardly developed, they trek for a long time before they settle and grow away from home. So the connection is baby travellers.
So, it's quite an impressive start with our trekkers, although obviously they won't have my intuitive trekking mind or amazing navigational skills.
Barney, I think it's safer for us to have a look at our first sea trekkers. It's reef cap time. Come on, this way.
Are you sure? No, because I think it's this
No,
way.
trust me on this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then tell me, how did we get from our baby fish to baby corals?
Well, we started with our tiddly tiny baby larvae fish. They're the size of a peanut but can swim for miles all on their own.
Like Mrs. Mudcrab with her 5 million eggs. She travels far and deep to give her babies a better chance of survival.
Even the mangrove seedlings know how to get on the move, all on their own for miles, until they find a nice place to settle down.
Ah, he's cute.
Our coral snowstorm is the ocean's way of spreading the amazing coral word. Their eggs travel for miles, meaning they can spread all over different parts of the reef.
Follow me. I know where we're going.
Who's our next trekker?
OK, Gem, here's a clue to our next voyager.
A bee? A wasp? Ooh, a fly.
Oh, so close. These are bluebottles.
What are they?
Well, they're related to jellyfish, but they're not actually jellyfish. What you're looking at is almost like a group of animals all bundled into one, all with a different and important job to do.
It doesn't look like it's doing much at all.
Well, you see, that's where you're mistaken, dear Gemma. Meet the Bluebottle sailing team. Our first shipmate is Captain Floaty.
Ahoy, me hearties!
Now, this is the sailing section. It's a gas-filled balloon that keeps the blue bottle afloat. Then, of course, there's the rest of the crew. Fisherman tentacles here catch fish for the others. The long stinging tentacle stops prey in their tracks. Not to forget the stomach and guts, or the reproductive section.
So it's like 4 creatures for the price of one.
Oh, and I should mention, they're quite dangerous stingers. Not good for something that matches the colour of the water. They sting more than 10,000 people in Australia every year.
Shiver me timbers.
Our blue bottles are linked to coral spawn because their journeys depend on the wind and currents of the ocean.
So they're connected as they both have to rely on the ocean and wind to carry them along. Now, who do these fellas remind you of?
Look like Yoda, I do.
Oh, it's Yoda!
Swimming I am.
Meet the spoilt brats of the reef, the remoras. Remora fish hang out with the big boys on the reef, like the magnificent manta here.
Yeah, those mantas do seem very popular, don't they?
Remoras don't really care about the manta. All they're after is a free ride, a free meal and free protection, and they choose any big fish they can hitch a ride with.
What? So they're complete slackers?
Yep, they're hangers-on. They have these Velcro-like pads on the top of their heads that suck onto the big fish.
Whoa, that'd be cool. Imagine if we could do that. Wow, they really can hang on well, can't they? Even when the shark's got his head stuck in a rock. Why did they do that? Can they not swim?
Oh yeah, they can swim perfectly well on their own, but they know it's much easier to hang out with the big boys of the reef. They can travel for miles by hanging out with the mantas, sharks, or even extra-large cruise liners like the whale shark.
So they get free lifts to wherever they want without having to lift a finger. I did a funny.
Oh no!
They're such freeloaders, they don't miss a trick.
Ew! Did that remora just eat shark poo?
Oh yeah, they don't turn down any freebie, these guys, even poo. And like the blue bottle, they rely on something else for their travelling.
So the blue bottle uses its sailing team to sail with the wind, and the remora relies on big boy fish to hitch a ride with. And that's how they're connected.
Our friend, the faithful turtle. They've been around for 100 million years.
100 million years old. I wouldn't like to blow the candles out on his next birthday cake.
His ancestors, Barney, not him. They're known as the ocean's ancient mariners because of their age and their ability to negotiate the vast blue ocean. In fact, Barney, since you need some serious turtle education, I think I've got just the thing.
Ye voyage of the turtles. For days and nights, the turtles battle through the waves.
Facing raging seas, piercing winds, and hot, hot sun, bravely, tirelessly, without refreshment or rest, she travels for 3,000 kilometers across the salty seas.
And do I foresee that soon she will be joined on her journey by our hero, the male turtle?
No, sire. It appears our so-called hero is nowhere to be seen, and our heroine doth journey alone. It is a voyage for only the very dedicated, but our turtle heroine knows it is the only way for her to reach her destination.
Ah, finally, I see the brave male turtle as he carries the female yonder.
Sire, alas, that is dost female doing the carrying. All the work. And now the mating is complete. The male dost lie for a while, but our female hero continues her pilgrimage beyond the ocean shores. She will ne'er rest, but toil tirelessly, digging, nesting, and partaking of egg-laying. She has battled long and hard to give birth to her much-awaited turtle babes.
Oh, joy and jubilance, my lady! Forsooth, see yonder! Those are infant turtles!
It is truly a sight to behold, sire. They will now embark on their own voyage for as many as 40 calendar years, until, by a miracle, they return to a place where they were born.
Oh, that is truly an epic tale of travel, toil, miracles, and strength. And so ends today's mariner's tale, for there is nothing so astounding as the voyage of the turtles.
Wow, now that is one dedicated mother, travelling 3,000 kilometres to give birth safely.
What's a few thousand kilometres between turtles?
So they're connected to the tag-along remoras because they like to cruise for a long time, even if the remoras do get a bit of help along the way.
OK, here's my clue for our next intrepid trekker. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Bad hat bird?
No, that is the white-capped noddy. What do you mean, bad hat?
Birds?
Yep, there are animals that live on the Barrier Reef above water as well, and some of them travel a long way to get there. Meet some feathery long-distance flyers. Now these guys travel for 6 months, stopping only at night to rest on exotic islands.
This must be the biggest group trek ever. That's a lot of birds.
And they don't all travel together, but more than 80,000 birds end up all together on this one island.
Whoa, that's a bit crowded. Sounds a bit like rush hour. That's probably enough birds to fill every seat in Wembley Stadium. So why the long-haul trip?
Well, yet again, it's all in the name of looking after their babies. Every summer they fly back to the same island they went to the year before and start nesting all over again. Oh look, the place hasn't changed a bit.
So it's a bit like us Brits on our yearly summer holiday to Brighton.
It's hard to find a spare branch in this place. Yeah, and there's a lot of bird poo as well, which is lucky because that's what they use to make their nests.
Ah, of course they do. No creature in the Barrier Reef lets a good bit of poo or snot go to waste.
Yummy.
More food, Mum. Feed me. Feed me.
And as if they haven't travelled far enough, parents have to go out every day to find food for their babies. The downside is, when they do find the food, they have to swallow it and then regurgitate it back up for their baby.
Ew, you mean spew it up?
Yeah, although it doesn't look like the babies mind that much.
So they're quite similar to the turtles then. Long-distance travellers who all hook up together and nest on the same island.
Yep, their group travelling and nesting links are 2 long-distance trekkers, the turtles and the white-capped noddies.
Time for another reef cap.
Starting with our amazing one-animal sailing team, the Blue Bottle Galleon and its 4 shipmates. They work together to sail smoothly along the current.
Unlike our lazy remora, with their Velcro stick-on heads, they're not that easy to shake off, even when their cruise liner shark is going for the kill.
Sounds more fun than that female turtle's 3,000-kilometre journey as she battles to give birth all on her own.
Okay, time to move on. Talking of epic journeys, the white-capped noddies know the meaning of group travel, all 80,000 of them.
We've had sailors, ancient mariners, long-distance flyers.
Oh, whoever next? The tiger shark, sleek, shiny and stealthy, heavyweight of the sea and granddaddy of the ocean. You can see why these guys have been around for more than 400 million years.
400 million? Wow, it's no wonder he looks like he owns the reef.
The tiger shark is a bit of a loner. He doesn't need friends. Not with his unquenchable appetite. He will travel miles for a good nosh-up. And en route, he will eat anything. And I literally mean anything.
Right, he's not fussy, is he? Is that a rotting turtle he's eating? Gross.
Yep, he's got pretty filthy eating habits. They don't call him the garbage man of the sea for nothing.
Yeah.
This rotting, stinking turtle is one of his favourite snacks. I mean, who else in the ocean has jaws to crunch through a turtle shell?
No.
Apparently, they found all sorts in this garbage. Guts, license plates, tyres and bottles, tin cans, tennis shoes, plastic bags, human head.
Human head? What?
Yeah, you name it, it's been found in a tiger shark's belly.
Oh, yes.
Wow, but if they eat anything, then surely they don't have to travel too far.
Oh, they'll travel anywhere for a good feed, and in true shark style, they're not one to miss a good opportunity.
Turtles again?
Uh-oh.
I see where you're going with this.
Sharks are smart as well as powerful. Every year they travel thousands of miles following turtles to this island, knowing they're going to mate and that not all of them will make it. Like these poor guys who took the plunge over the cliff of death and who better to clear up the debris.
Wow, that is a long way to travel for dinner.
Not for this greedy guts, he'll do anything for a good meal.
So the turtles and the tiger sharks all end up in the same place?
Yeah, the turtles travel all this way to lay their eggs, and the tiger sharks follow them to nosh up on the turtles who don't quite make it.
Wow. Is it a seal? Is it a dolphin? Is it a swimming cow? What are we looking at here?
Let me introduce the dugong, otherwise known as the sea cow. Although they are more closely related to elephants.
I'm confused.
Actually, he's neither a cow nor an elephant, but he is a mammal, so he's distantly related, and he has a huge appetite.
Hi, I'm Deputy Dugong. I like to eat seagrass.
Well, this one looks like quite a friendly fella, although that is a scary honker he's got on him.
They are friendly, if a little slow and lumbering, but wow, what an appetite. In fact, they have such big appetites they can eat up to 36 kilograms of seagrass every day.
Okay, starting to make sense. They're called sea cows. They eat the same as a cow.
And it's all about dinner time for the docile dugongs. They spend most of their time travelling around their favourite seagrass eateries.
Now, what you mean by that is they lumber from one patch of grass to the other. Well, that's not travelling, Gem.
Well, it is when you're covering more than 20 square kilometres just for a seagrass mush-up.
Really? That's like running from one side of London to the other just to get some lunch.
And they don't just travel for food. Some dugongs have been known to travel 80 kilometres to reach warmer waters.
Okay, so dugongs, despite their cow-like personality, can travel long distances.
And they're like the tiger shark, but not half as scary because they cover huge areas in search of food.
I've got it. Following their stomachs. That's the connection.
So we're here in the Great Barrier Reef, surrounded by sea, sun, and things that sting. But there are rumours we may see some wildlife very soon.
Why are you talking like that?
Shh, we don't want to scare them. Some of these species can be sensitive, or even worse, quite irritating. Ah, over there. It looks like we're in luck.
Barney, those are people.
Yes, the lesser spotted sun cream avoider. Quite a common species here in this hot climate. I think they may be from Europe. Amazingly, they're white or paler skinned in the morning, but do have a tendency to turn red as the sun grows hotter. Oh, and here are some of the wannabe variety.
What?
Wannabe fish species, Gemma. You can spot their silly goggles and distinct yellow fin markings. Trouble is, the fish spot them too.
Have to admit, they're not very energetic.
Yes, this species does insist on trying to imitate fish with their cumbersome bodies, but will never have the grace and elegance of a true ocean dweller. Oh, they try to dive, but they're just not equipped for this type of activity. And here we have encountered a whole colony of common tourists. See their flip-flops, shorts, silly t-shirts, very easy to recognize.
Okay, I get it. You're including humans in our trekking show. Well, disallowed.
Well, hang on a minute. There's nothing in the rule book about that.
This is a show about the Barrier Reef, Barney, in case you've forgotten.
Yes, this is a show about the Barrier Reef, but it's also a show about trekking to and from in the Barrier Reef, Gem.
Okay, now this had better be good.
The Barrier Reef is world famous, and humans do trek thousands of miles to come and see its wonders.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
Okay, tourists actually migrate here in the thousands from the UK, the rest of mainland Europe, Japan, the USA. The Barrier Reef is very, very popular, and not just with the fish.
Yeah, but they use planes to travel.
Okay, agreed, they do need some support in their migration, but it's a long way from the UK. 23 hours of flying at least, which I think illustrates their dedication.
Definitely time to move on, and definitely time for us to get a new rulebook.
So, seasonal migrations links dugongs to holidaying humans, but who else is connected to our sea cow? Oh, hey, it's a spotty whale.
True, he may look like a whale, but he's actually a whale shark.
What? A whale shark? Come on, Jem, what is it? Is it a whale or is it a shark?
It is in fact a shark that has been named a whale shark because although it may look like a whale, it is actually a shark.
Huh? Okay, I think I understand.
Meet the ultimate ocean cruise liner. These guys are huge. They can grow up to 20 metres long and weigh 34 tonnes.
What? 34 tonnes? That's as big as a lorry.
And they can swim an average of 24 kilometres a day.
Hang on a minute. That's 500 times the length of an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's a long way to swim. Why bother?
Well, it's just another of those ocean mysteries. No one really knows why. In autumn time, they arrive in Australia to track down new patches of their favourite ocean nibble, plankton, which they suck up through their huge mouths.
So the biggest animal in the ocean is the gentlest, but also the best traveller. And just like the dugong, it moves mainly in order to find a decent meal.
So the whale shark and the dugong are connected because they both cover long distances to find a decent nosh-up.
Oh, we made it.
Hooray!
What a finish. I'm going in the water, are you coming?
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to distance, the whale shark wins hands down, or in this case, fins down. But there are still plenty of other competitors in our Sea Trek lineup.
Ah, it's reef cat time.
Now, these little trekkers don't let their size hold them back. Our feisty fish larvae travel as fast as record-breaking athletes.
They're connected to the magnificent mud crab, who takes her babies way out to sea.
Now, I've never heard of a travelling seed, but not only do these mangrove pods grow to the size of my foot, but they can float miles away from their mangrove home, just like the mud crab.
Another baby traveller, the coral spawn, a magical and mysterious sight. But what's even spookier is the ability of coral eggs to travel far and wide in the ocean currents.
Just like this sailing blue bottle, with its own inbuilt sailing team. Land ahoy!
At least they work hard, unlike these remora freeloaders who stick to their chosen vessel for a free ride and a free meal. But for a true endurance test, look no further than the female turtle, who travels miles without stopping.
Like the white-capped noddies, they'll fly long distances to give birth to their spoiled baby birds.
And the tiger shark will travel anywhere for food, even if it's a rotting turtle.
Just like the dozy-looking dugong, he can swim a long, long way, especially when there's seagrass to be grazed.
Or Barney's cheats connection. Humans whose obsession with the barrier reef mean they'll travel from the other side of the world, even if they do forget their sun cream.
And last but not least, our other link to the dugong, our gentle giant humdinger of a cruise liner, the whale shark. He also travels for food. He can travel 24 kilometres a day.
So that's what these things are for. All this talk of travelling's made me sleepy. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Barney, wake up! Well, how are we going to get home? Typical. I guess it's down to me then, just like the female turtle. That way.
Was there more as it did it?